Hey guys, welcome back to another scooter video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install bearings. Now some reasons you might want to install bearings in your wheels would be if your old bearings are going bad or they start to not spin as much as they used to, or maybe they're not dialed anymore. When you drop your scooter, it gives a nice little rattle because the bearings themselves have worn out. So all the tools you're going to need for installing new bearings in your wheels are just going to be hammer, two 13mm axles, wrenches for your axle, and just some kind of long axle that you can use to tighten them down, and then flathead, obviously some new bearings, and I like to use some kind of grease. This is just like a ceramic grease, and that makes installing the bearings much easier. So the first step you're going to do is you take your flathead and your wheel. Now there is going to be a little spacer inside the bearings on both sides. There's going to be one on the inside. You're going to have to kind of shift that off to the side a little bit and go in at an angle. I like to use my other wheel, prop it up like this, tilt at an angle, and then you're going to hit the lip of the bearing. So right here, you can probably see through it. You're going to hit the inside of the bearing lip like this, and you're just going to take your hammer, give it a couple taps, and these bearings come out pretty easy. These wheels are pretty old, but and then you're just going to flip the wheel over, and then you're also take the spacer out of there when it comes out, and you're just going to do the exact same thing to the other bearing, and tap it, and just kind of come right out. And then you're going to do the exact same step to the other wheel, so you're going to flip it over, hit it out, and get those bearings out. These wheels, like I said, are very old, so the bearings kind of just fall out of them, but that's alright, you guys will get the idea. Then you're going to take your bearings. I'm going to open these up. These are from Michael Pytel from Shop ECX. Definitely check them out. I'll have the link in the description to the bearings where you can buy them. But so you just open them up and brand new bearings. So take these out. Alright, so now that I got the bearings taken out of the packaging, I'm going to apply just a little bit of grease to the insides of the cores of the wheels. Just kind of rub it around. This is going to make installing the bearings like 100 times easier because it's not going to like stick as much, and also when you take them out the next time, it's going to be a lot easier to take them out because it's not going to be like stuck in there. But now what you're going to do is you're going to take your axle, unthread it, and I like to use my old bearings just because more than likely they're either going to get thrown out or they're just not good anymore. So you take your old bearing, put it on the bolt, your new bearing, and then you just take the spacer. Do not forget your spacer. Alright, so this right here is going to be the correct orientation. You're going to have a bearing, spacer, and then a bearing. That's how it's going to align in your wheel. So the bearing's going to go in here, and then the spacer is going to go on the inside, and the bearing's going to go on the other side. So it's going to be just like that. Make sure you install this spacer. Without it, your bearings are going to push together, and they're not going to be able to spin as fast as they could. But I just want to make sure that you guys see the correct orientation of how this goes. Back to the video. So then you're going to install it like that. And then you're going to put the new bearing on the other side, and then your old bearing, and then you take your nut and you just spin it down. Now this is nice because you can actually do this at home without having to have like a special press, like a bearing press that actually like pushes them in. But so all you're going to need is just these two wrenches. Just going to spin that around and until it starts tightening down, and the bearings will kind of work their way into the cores of the wheels, and then you kind of just snug it up once it gets in there, and then you gotta take them off. Alright, now that right there is how you install new bearings in your wheels. It really is that easy. It really isn't hard at all. New bearings, they spin really well. But I'll just go ahead and do the other wheel just so you guys can see it one more time. So again, axle, old bearing, new bearing, spacer, old wheel, and then new bearing, old bearing, just to keep it so it presses down a lot easier. And then your nut, just thread it on there, and then you're going to take wrenches and then tighten those down, snug them up, and take it off. Alright, and there it is. New bearings are installed. Spin nice and well, and they'll probably be pretty dialed when they're back on your scooter. That really isn't that hard. Anybody can do this at home. If you don't have an axle, or you can just use your old axle, but if you don't have an axle that actually threads down enough to install your bearings, you can always use a hammer just to kind of tap them in. Make sure you're tapping around evenly so you don't accidentally like wedge it in sideways. But that's going to do it for today's video, so see you guys in the next one. Peace.